Testing, testing, 1 2 1 2. I got food, and I got a new project for you. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. This is gonna be, I'm trying a different little mood for the video, so hopefully you enjoy it. They literally just built a Taco Bell right by my house. Probably, it's less than 2 minutes away, which means all the machines are new and clean. I haven't eaten yet. I'm gonna eat. We are using Caron Cakes Pistachios. This is how much is left of the yard, so you can definitely make 2 of these with 1 cake. And I still have this much left of the twinkle. I'm almost certain you can do 2 of these scarves. Personally, I'm a fan of this new silhouette, the kind of silhouette that I'm wearing right now. This is another iteration and it's a little bit small. Oh my God, look at how that twinkles, guys. Look at how that twinkles. First, we got some fresh Baja Blast. Doritos, Tacos Locos. First things first. So this garment, I'm very, very fascinated with green and red, but that color combination always seems very relaxing to me, very homey. I had these cakes, like I mentioned, in my stash, one of them being the Caron Cakes Pistachio colorway. It's a very hit or miss colorway, the green, that most people either hate that hue of green, they call it booger green or baby vomit green. But I also associate it with like different shades of Christmas trees or holly, stuff like that. I challenge myself. I'm like, how do I make this colorway, which is very controversial? How do I make it work? Little tip for you guys, if you ever have a very busy yarn, just use a solid color to kind of break it apart. Even if it is self-striping, as long as you get a good contrasting solid colorway, you should be fine. If you want to follow along and do this on your own, my starting chain, foundation chain, is in increments of 8. Sorry, not increments of 8. Technically, it's increments of... Technically, when I did this, I made sure that there were 5 spaces in between each of the cables. And the cables themselves are 6 stitches long, 3 going to the left, 3 going back to the right. So if you do your math, that should be 5 plus 6, which is 11. So increments of 11, and then you add 2 to include your starting wall stitch and your ending wall stitch. And then you just learn how to fold it to determine your size, because some people like their scarves nice and tight to prevent the air from going in. Some people like them nice and loose to make a kind of like a fashion statement. It's all up to you. You should be able to end with an even number. If you can try to end with an even number, please try to, just because it'll help you later on when you're working with these other stitches to just end on a very even note. So see, for example, my diamond stitches, I began and I ended with 1 double crochet, and then I continued doing the diamond stitch. Technically it's like this because I'm working from the bottom up. If you don't know how to do the cable work, there's a link in the description box below. Crystal from Variegated Crochet has a great explanation on it. Nastasia has a great explanation on it as well. I will clarify though, for my particular cabling, I like to do the typical 3 to the left, 3 to the right, but then I go up 2 rows, because remember, your yarn has to be on the same side. So everything in your mind when it comes to stitches has to be in 2, so your yarn comes back and you're not cutting. I didn't cut. I only cut my yarn once, which was at the very, very end. So I did 3 left, 3 right, and then I actually did 2 rows up, and then I did a straight cabling going down, connecting all 6 stitches. And then when I came back up here after 2 more rows, or 3 more rows, I went back and I did 3 to the left, 3 to the right. You can manipulate this design by continuing to go straight up the longer to make them like skinnier, these cabling. That's how you can make these longer and skinnier, or you could just keep it like this, and if you keep this size, it'll just, you know, just imagine repeating it that way. If you kind of understand what I'm saying, I'll put some subtitles here in the bottom of the video. So once you push it on the cable work, trust me, everything else will go much quicker. The longest part of this scarf is the initial cabling here at the bottom, but once you get that down, the rest of the scarf is easy peasy lemon squeezy. And mild sauce. My mild sauce from my Taco Bell. You guys want to hear a funny story about Taco Bell? When I was a little kid growing up, my dad would actually always tell us when we would drive by a Taco Bell that it was made out of dog meat. Because technically it's fake Mexican food, but really very delicious. Taco number 3 down. I need to stop. Oh, Oh, I ate too fast. But anyways, continuing forward, I sized up. This is an actual H5mm hook. The reason for that is because this yarn is actually kind of thick, on the thick side, just because of the metallic strand and the red, but also the wool content and the Caron cake. So I would suggest maintaining an H hook, because normally I do size down to keep things nice and snug, but I don't want this to be too tight when you're wearing it. I wanted it to have a nice little drape, so I stuck with a size H. It has to end on the same side. Here on the third row, begin the cabling, go up 2 rows and just double crochet front post going down 3 rows, and on the third row do the same thing of the cabling. So that's how you do that. Up here, you already know this one. This one is the diamond stitch, but I did change it a little bit. So if you look at the silhouette here, my diamond stitch here is in half double crochet. So I did 1 row of half double crochet, then I did the diamond stitch here, 1 half double crochet, I chained 2, and then I put the other half double crochet into the pointiest part, the tallest part of the diamond. I chained 2, and same thing, half double crochet into the diamond, chain 2, half double crochet into the diamond. When you come back, because you got to bring your yarn to the same side, you're just adding half double crochet into all of that. And that's how you create that top border right here to imitate the bottom. You're gonna have to do single chains first in between, and then when you come back, you fill them all in with half double crochet. Got that? Moving on, now we got here, all it is double crochet in between, 4 yarn over, coffee bean stitch. If I am not mistaken, I believe I did a half double crochet row first, but also you gotta remember, everything is in 2s because you're trying to get the yarn on the same side. So you do 1 row of half double crochet and then your coffee bean and double crochet mix. Finish it off with 1 row of half double crochet, and then you're actually going to start the front post. So although you can't see it on camera, these are actually front posts. You get these cool like ridges on there. So you're just gonna do that and alternate the color twice or 3 times, however many. Because here at this point, you have an option to decide how wide you want this actual scarf. You can make it oversized like this, so that way it reaches over your shoulders, or you can make it nice and small, so that way it just stays up here. Those are your options, and you can do that at this point. I would recommend extending from this section, just because it'll look more aesthetically pleasing than if you were to extend any of these more complicated stitches. That's my opinion, but you can go ahead and do whatever you want and manipulate this however you want. This color combination actually surprised me a lot. And like I said, there's enough yarn to do. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we got 1, 2, 3. You got at least 4 colors in here. So you could actually do a hat, or you could use more of the red. So you can definitely do a second one with more red sections than the green. And that actually would look pretty cool. I'm actually quite interested to see if maybe I could do like an inverted version of this. So wherever you see the red, it's gonna be green and the rest is gonna be red. So that's another cool idea that you can do with the leftover yarn. Sorry, I didn't even tell you guys at the beginning. Just count my cables and you can see how big this is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I did 8 cables. 8 times 11 is 88 plus 2. Sorry, yeah, 88, correct? 88 plus 2, 90. So this is 90 stitches in total. As of right now, I want to close this up, and I want to do it in front of you guys, so that way you guys can see what I'm going to do. The more you cross your left side, which is what's going over your shoulder, the bigger the neckline is going to be, because remember, this has to go on the edge. So you either line it up like that, and you can literally see how big the neckline is going to be. Like the pointy part to be right here on my chest. So what you do is you actually pull this back and bring this one more to the front. And you can base it off of more of the corner of the scarf in terms of placement. So that to me seems a lot more center and better. And see, you can already get an idea of the neckline. At the end of all of my stitches, I actually did a border of half double crochet all the way around, and the reason for that is because now you have an option of determining whether or not you want it to go over this way, or you can literally just flip it the other way around and go the other way. And the border around the entire garment allows you to get a nice, clean, solid, closure of the garment when you, or seam, you get a nice clean seam when you close it. And I'm obviously going to be doing the squiggly line single crochet method, which is my favorite. And the way also, because I added a border, I actually end here on the corner of the scarf. So without any cutting, I still haven't cut my Caron cake yarn in this entire garment. And and you just plan kind of like ahead, so when you add the border, you end at the point where you want it to close it up. So that's another little tip for you guys. And hopefully that makes sense. If it didn't make sense, leave a comment in the comment section and I will try to respond to everyone. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to close this up with a single crochet. All right, and based off of my favorite technique of how to close it, you always work out to in. Of course, I was literally just talking and none of that was being recorded. What I was saying is you just close it up here with a single crochet, and since we added the border all the way around, each stitch has a coinciding stitch nice and even on both sides, so that is why I added a border as well. And when you want to close it up, you're going to want to bring in the yarn. You want to yarn over from the outside to the center and pull out. Okay, and there's a link in the description box below of where you can learn this technique from. I learned it from another channel here on YouTube. It gives you this nice, cool, squiggly line, puffy seam on one side and a nice clean closed seam on the other. So you can always use this to your advantage in the sense that either you can use the squiggly line part or use the seamless part, which is on the back side. So you can decide which direction or which side you want to actually have the squiggly lines over. Yes, it's single crochet, but it is so worth it at the end. Now here, I mean, there are some aesthetic choices you can do. Some people like to leave the last stitch open just to keep everything nice and loosey-goosey, but that is totally your preference. You do not have to do that. And there. So from here, I'm gonna cut it and then I'm gonna hide my seam and then I'll bring you guys back. Ta-da! So when you close it up, that's how it looks, guys. And you just point the pointy part in the center. Nice on camera. And like I said, you can make it as big as you want. The bigger you make it in terms of the width, the more it'll reach over your shoulders. But this, personally, for me, I enjoy these types of scarves under my jackets because now I know the wind isn't gonna go inside the collar or anything like that. And if I really wanted to, I can bring this a little bit more forward, scrunch it up like this, and you get a nice fashionable triangle sweater. What do you think of my scarf?
Oh, nice.
Cranberry red. How does that look burgundy to you?
I like the.
You think it's burgundy
shiny.
too?
¿Verdad que sí? It looks like burgundy.
It's supposed to, well, I mean.
But it's nice. It's really nice.
What twinkles more, the Christmas tree or the yarn? Twinkle, twinkle.
Yo.
Boom, boom, boom. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Did I do a good job? Is this gonna be your new favorite Christmas sweater? This was using Caron cakes in Pistachio. Still got some yarn left over. Big Twist Twinkle in their red color. It is one of their new holiday colorways for that particular brand of yarn because the Twinkle line from Big Twist is relatively new. And like I said, you can always like alternate. You can change the shape of the collar, make a nice high fashion up here. You can actually just like shove it in here, fold it in like that as well to get a nice look in that. Just like my silhouettes are designed so you can do little things like that and it changes the entire shape. Like look at that. The lines here go back and create this nice swirl, like peppermint green swirl. Like there's so many shapes you could do. Like the eye just doesn't know where to go and it keeps you entertained. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little design, this little session. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my channel. Hopefully you enjoyed this little visual tutorial and you're able to recreate it. If you are, don't forget to tag me on Instagram. All of my info's in the description box below at CPTLimon. I would love to see if you're able to recreate any of my designs. The written pattern will be coming soon. I had no issues with the yarn. Even with the metallic strand and the twinkle yarn, it did not get caught up in it didn't split or anything like that. So all high marks in terms of the yarn quality. I'll let you guys know if I wash this and how I washed it to see if it changes anything. But I already know from using Caron cakes for years already that as long as you put it in a nice delicates bag and you don't harshly wash your stuff, it does last in terms of drying on low heat or cold air and stuff like that. Oh, guys, I can't stop looking. This looks so cool. Like, it gives you Grinch vibes, peppermint vibes, holiday tree vibes, tree light vibes. So let me know what this reminds you of, this silhouette. I'm very, very happy with it. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, let's give a special shout out to our Limon Crochets members. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for your support. You help motivate me to always put the best content for you all. And if you want to join the family, you can go ahead and click that join button and see the extra perks that I do for my members. Quick shout outs to the Limon influencers. I see you, Noemi Torres and Blanca Valtierras. Thank you so, so much. And to our Limon Inner Circle members, we got Caron Millet in the house, Cocktails and Crochet with Coco, and Araceli Pintado. Thank you so much. And to everyone in the Limon family tier, you guys are awesome. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you in the next video.